Hey there, MRA Fam, my real Africanas. This is Maria Juve, the real Africanas, coming to you again, doing what I do best, teaching and talking about Africa and the African diaspora, also disrupting the negative narratives and images about Africa in education and media, and finally and foremost, bringing African and African diasporan people together around their common histories and real life experiences. So I was just checking in with you today. I'm not going to be on here long. Just wanted to say happy Black History Month. This is day number 4. And I hope that you all are enjoying this month. It's a special time that I believe that we should take out to commemorate the achievements and the sacrifices of those that come before us, that have made it possible for us to be here doing what we are doing today. I think sometimes we may take that for granted, or I won't say take it for granted, but we don't think about it a lot. But not too long ago, maybe 100 years ago even, we did not have the freedom that we have now. We did not have the opportunity to move and to do all the things that God has created us to do, right? I always say that freedom is not free, so we have to be diligent about that, and we have to continue to fight the good fight to make sure that we are able to exercise those rights that are inherently or innately ours, right? So also I wanted to make sure that you all were participating in the Can't Ban Black Challenge. This was a challenge that I launched in response to the bans on African and African diaspora studies in Florida. Last week, the governor DeSantis passed legislation to ban the teaching or to ban a specific curriculum on African and African American studies, right? But again, this is not a new thing, and it's not the first time that this has happened. Uh, this has been an ongoing struggle. Seems From my research, it seems as if this has been going on ever since Black people in America and probably all over um, have been attending educational institutions in this country, right? We have been fighting to get our stories, and not only our story, but the real story of our lives, of our struggles, included in curriculums that are taught in the school system. However, after about a couple years back, when President Trump was in office, and after the Arthur Nicole Hannah Jones, I believe, yes, that's her name, wrote the 1619 Project, which I have not read completely, I'll be honest, but I have been following the story, right? And it's on my to-do list. But from what I understand, the book is the 1619 date is in reference to the date that African people first, enslaved African peoples first came to the shores of America. I know that that date is is controversial. There is a debate around that date as to whether it is accurate or not. Some historians and educators and just people in the general public believe that we came here earlier than that, in the mid 1500s, and also even further back than that. There's a theory out here that African Americans were here before anyone else even before the indigenous, or who we call the indigenous Native Americans. I do believe that there is some truth to that. I don't know in what numbers we were here in this country or on this part of the earth, right? Because it was not a country at that time, or what we have defined as a country. But and there is evidence to suggest that we were, right, that there were African people here, and again, I would say for certain there were, because we know that all life started in Africa, and we know that there was a migration all across the world into different parts of the world, and so those people came from Africa. So if we want to put it in that context, then of course we were here. But anyway, there was a big debate about that, because there was some curriculum added, or a course added to that, right, to be taught in schools based upon that book, the 1619 Project. And after that, a lot of these lawmakers, they just kind of lost their mind. A lot of the politicians and a lot of the school systems, they felt that, they say that some of us activists and black educators and activists are trying to rewrite the history and the founding of this country, that we're trying to rewrite it and tell the story from the point of view of oppression and not of freedom, right? They believe that this country was founded on freedom and not on oppression. And to give a balanced view of that, I mean, I would say that that may be true, but perception is reality. So depending on whose perspective and whose perception that is, then that is the reality of their consensus, because that may have been, freedom may have been the ideology behind the founding of the place that we now call America. However, there were people who were not only oppressed, but were maimed, that were killed, that were displaced in order for that to happen, right? And also the founding principles of the country were not in the interest, or did not have all of the people who were here in mind when those principles were founded. And we also know that most of the founding fathers, or what they call the founding fathers, were slave owners, right? And they believed in the institution of slavery. There was not one at that time who did not believe in that institution and did not participate willingly in that institution. So I think that it's only right for those who descended from those people who helped to build this lucrative and country that, I mean, it's a good country, right? It is a good country. It has systems that work. There are a lot of freedoms. There are a lot of, opportunities for people here. But also, when you understand how the history of the country, how it was founded, who was exploited, who was killed, who was maimed, who was murdered, and who was enslaved in order for this to happen, what resources were taken from other ethnic groups, other continents, other countries for this to happen, then you understand more why people have the perspective that they have, right? So I just wanted to check in and to see if you were participating in the Can't Ban Black challenge. And in that challenge, I want you all to flood your social media platforms and sites with all of the Black history facts and images and historical dates that you can find. and just get them out there, get them out there to the world. Let the politicians know, let the world know, let the American government know that we know our history, right? And we will not stand by and also allow that history to be relegated to the sidelines, manipulated, or monopolized. That we also will not allow those narratives to be controlled by those who want to keep us on the fringes of society and take back the gains that our ancestors have made and that we have made in our fight for liberation and in our fight for freedoms, right? So, again, my name is Maria Juve, and I am new here on YouTube. I go by the name of the Real Africanist, and you can find me on Twitter at real_Africanist. You can find me on Facebook at Maria Juve, and that's Marie, YA, and last name Jouf, Jouf. And on my next video, I'll be talking more about what the theme of Black History Month for 2023 is in my part of the country, and it is Black resistance, right? And I would like to get more into that topic about Black resistance, because I know when most people think about resistance, they think of resisting something that may be beneficial to them, or they also may take it in the terms that mean, more aggressive terms, or not aggressive, but also physical terms, right? But there also needs to be a mental, an educational, and a psychological resistance to not only the bans against Black studies, but also against the quality of content, or the control, that I call it, the influence and control that Western narratives and Western perspectives have over how the African story and the African diaspora story is presented and received. And also, I would like to make mention also, and I think I did last time, when I say African American, for me, it does not matter what you call yourself. If you don't consider yourself African American, or of African descent, or whatever you call yourself, Black, African American, Black American, African, it really does not matter to me. That's not my fight. Like I say, whatever we call ourselves, Dr. King said it best. We're all in the same boat now. And when they go to ban certain things, or to try to prevent us from exercising our voting rights, or when our young men are harassed, and when or killed even, right? Or when our young people are profiled, right? They're not trying to ask you what you call yourself, right? They take one look at who you are, and they determine who you are, and they operate. And when I say they, those who are in control of these systems that would like to continue to marginalize and really eliminate the Black presence, right? So, again, I appreciate you coming here. Please, like, share, subscribe, and comment on this video. I would like to engage with you in conversation. This is a discourse, so it goes both ways. And also hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button, so next time I put up a video, which will be tomorrow, you can be notified, and then you can get in on the conversation, because I'm really going to take the conversation about Black resistance up a notch. So I see you tomorrow. I hope you have a great weekend. Again, I hope you have a great Black History Month. find you an activity somewhere where they are celebrating or commemorating Black history, and take your family or take yourself, take your significant other and join in. It could never be a waste of time to learn about your history, and in turn, you learn more about yourself. So I'll see you next time. Remember, there's always more than one side to a story. There's always two or three. And remember, in all thy getting, get understanding. I'll talk with you later, and peace.